1,000 economists had expected. So they had expected 230,000 jobless claims and actually wound up with 258,000. Meanwhile, the number of continuing applications for unemployment hit 1.86 million, up 42,000 from the prior week. Now, all these claims that because of the interest rate cuts, that kind of showed that this job market was stronger and was going forward, kind of goes by the wayside with that. When they claim that they make a decision based on one item or a couple of items, and then you see that those numbers come out and don't back that up, it kind of leaves you scratching your head. Claims rose markedly in some of the states, and of course, a lot of that may have to do with Hurricane Helene, and now, of course, with Hurricane Milton. And there's this ongoing strike by Boeing that is going on, so that might be adding a little bit to these numbers. The report comes despite a blowout September jobs report that was released just 6 days prior. Data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics released Friday showed the labor market added 254,000 payrolls in September, higher than the 150,000 expected by the economists. Now, you may recall that we just had, 2 months ago, where they looked at the jobs that were reported, the number of jobs that so-called created. And by the time they added up all those numbers and came up with the information, in August, they came out with that report that said that, well, we overestimated the number of jobs that were created by 818,000. So all of these glorious job reports that we were getting, suddenly when they were corrected, brought that number down by 818,000. Now, with this jobs report the other day where they said that they were expecting 150,000 and they showed that the jobs that were created or that were added was 254,000, everybody was patting themselves on the back. What I'm going to be looking for in the next coming months is when that number is revised down, when they actually get the actual numbers. But the fact that the Fed has been saying, oh, the job market is strong, and so on, and we're just, we're going to make sure that we prop that up. Well, you got 254,000 jobs that were added last month, and then now on the other end, you've got jobless claims up 258,000. So I would say, quick math here, if you got 254,000 jobs added and you lose 258,000, that tells me you're in the hole by 4,000. So where is the rosy picture here? Unbelievable. So anyway, well, what you're going to do, you listen to this show, you're going to get stuff straight. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to give you the facts. I'm going to give you, and once in a while, I could be coerced into giving an opinion or two. But, when I look at these numbers and, you're being told one thing and then you look at the numbers and you see something else, it's like, do they really expect us to believe this? And do you really expect us to go along with this without looking at the backup of this and actually doing a little bit of research on our part? Well, at least not on this show. Let's take a look at oil and gas prices. West Texas Intermediate crude currently is at $76.14 a barrel. That is up $2.90 a barrel, or 3.96%. Brent crude is at $79.63 a barrel. That is up $3.05 a barrel, or almost, 3.98%, which is darn near 4%. And those numbers are a lot higher than what they were the previous day. And the reason for that, there's a lot of, there's, the ongoing problems over in the Middle East, the numbers as a result of Hurricane Milton and Hurricane Helene are factoring into these numbers. Now let's take a look at what's causing this. Oil prices jump almost 4% on U.S. storm and Israel-Iran fears. Oil prices jumped about 4% on Thursdays on a spike of U.S. fuel use before Hurricane Milton barreled across Florida. Middle East supply risk and signs of that demand for energy could grow in the U.S. and China. In the U.S., the world's largest oil producer, the consumer, Hurricane Milton barreled across Florida where about a quarter of the fuel stations sold out of gas, knocking out power to more than 3.4 million homes. The way this sentence was constructed, they put a comma there when they should have ended the period and then ended the sentence and then mentioned that the storm knocked out 3.4 million homes as far as power is concerned. According to Ritter Bush and Associates, they said in a note, closures of several product terminals delayed tanker truck deliveries and disrupted pipeline movement, and that will all likely be affecting supplies well into next week, given broad-based power outages. The vast uncertainty across Florida petroleum infrastructure generally has supported gasoline values, according to this Ritter Bush. U.S. gasoline futures were leading the energy complex higher, trading up about 4% on Thursday. So because of what's going on in Florida with these gasoline surges there and use, because people trying to get out of town, and then those people have to be getting back into town after the hurricane passes, there's going to be a lot of fuel consumption down there, which will affect the gasoline inventories across the country. Crude benchmarks spiked earlier this month after Iran launched more than 180 missiles against Israel on October 1st, raising the prospect of retaliation against Iranian oil facilities. With Israel yet to respond, crude benchmarks have eased once more and remained relatively flat through the week. But investors remain wary given that Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant promised that any strike against Iran would be lethal, precise, and surprising. Now, Phil Flynn, in his energy report, he used those words again. What he does in his energy report is he will get some of these numbers or some of these comments that are made by people and put them into his energy report or into the title of his energy report. Now, one of the things that they're talking about is Israel has yet to respond to that missile attack. And they are, as they say, it's going to be lethal, precise, and surprising. Now, now Biden did meet with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about Israel's plans concerning Iran, according to some of these analysts, but nothing was determined or decided, or at least they weren't told, the administration wasn't told what was going to happen. Israeli forces fired on a position used by UN peacekeepers in Lebanon on Wednesday and Thursday. The UN force, according to the UN, as Israel warned Lebanese civilians not to return to homes in the south and pursued a widening offensive against the Iran-backed Hezbollah group. Because Hezbollah, these terrorist organizations, they put their rocket launchers among the civilian population, figuring that, well, okay, we'll have the propaganda if they return fire and take out our missile or our launch pads and kill civilians. We'll have something to talk about. But the problem there is that those have to be taken out. And so with the people moving out of that area and possibly moving back in, Israel said, don't do it yet. Now, a lot of the Gulf states are talking to the federal government, Saudi Arabia and the other countries over there, part of OPEC, and saying to them, can you please kind of lobby Israel not to go in too hard on Iran, which should be done. But they're concerned that Iran, just to prove a point, may attack their oil fields. So, I mean, it's like the people that are in charge of Iran aren't thinking rationally. All they're doing is trying to stir things up and cause terror throughout the region. And at some point in time, a group of people, either the Gulf states or the UN, is going to have to say, you know what, we need to put the brakes on this regime and, bring them into line, or regime change possibly. Anyway, folks, we're up against clock here. Time for us to get out of here. Stay tuned for Red Eye Radio at top of the hour. I'm Kevin Gordon, America's Trucking Network, 700 WLW.
News, traffic, and weather. News Radio 700 WLW, Cincinnati.
Rescue and cleanup efforts proceed from Hurricane Milton. I'm Lee Mowen, breaking now.
The Florida National Guard has activated more than 6,500 guardsmen and mobilized 500 plus high water vehicles, 26 helicopters, and more than a dozen watercraft from a dozen states.
That's Pentagon spokesman Major General Pat Ryder on Thursday talking about the active duty troops and capabilities remaining on standby, but no requests coming in from the state of Florida or FEMA. ABC's chief meteorologist Ginger Z talks about why hurricanes hitting the Sunshine State is bad news.
Florida has now had 3 landfalling hurricanes already this season. That's the most they've ever had. They've done it a few other years throughout history. But wow, the last thing they want is another one, and we still have 6 weeks left in hurricane season. On site is ABC's David Muir with the search and rescue updates.
Orange County Fire Rescue waiting in waist-deep waters to rescue stranded residents. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office going door to door on boats and in high water vehicles, rescuing trapped families. They say they've rescued more than 725 people and counting.
Meantime, the gas shortages currently will take days to address, according to experts. Before Milton struck, 17% of stations reported they were out of gas, according to the Gas Buddy. Now, roughly 7,900 stations lack fuel, and 2/3 of those in Tampa Bay and St. Petersburg are out. The cause is pinpointed to disruptions at Port Tampa Bay, which handles nearly 43% of the state's petroleum imports.
Now, the latest forecast from the Train Heating and Cooling Weather Center on News Radio 700 WLW.
And the tri-state weather as we head to our Friday morning. Generally clear, cool, but a little patchy fog's possible. 7 a.m. temperature 43. The rest of our Friday's mostly sunny, a high 74. At night we'll stay clear and drop to 52. From your severe weather station, I'm 9 First Warning Chief Meteorologist Steve Raleigh. News Radio 700 WLW.
A woman is in custody after casting spells with her mother's body found dismembered near their Robertson County home. Happening Wednesday afternoon around 12:30, Kentucky State Police were called to a Briarly Ridge Road home. They later identified the body as Trudy Fields, also the property owner. Some of her organs, as well as her arms, legs, and head were removed, and some of those parts were found on a pot on top of the oven. A medical examiner will perform an autopsy later today. 32-year-old Tori Lena Mae Fields arrested and taken into custody. Her current charges include abuse of a corpse, evidence tampering, and obstructing government operations. More charges are possible, according to KSP. In Dayton, a plane performing aerial flyovers for an event at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base was forced Thursday evening to make an emergency landing. Happening during the 97th anniversary celebration of Wright Field, a Wright B Flyer replica performing the flyover. When the malfunction caused the engine to catch fire, both pilots were unharmed.
700 WLW. Sports.
The newest updates to the Bengals injury report. Halfback Chase Brown, the new name. He was limited Thursday. Mike Gesicki and Zach Moss did not practice Wednesday, but got in a limited practice Thursday. Staying limited, Sheldon Rankins, Joseph Asai. Bengals visit the New York Giants for Sunday Night Football. Listen to the best Bengals coverage on 700 WLW, ESPN 1530, and WEBM 102.7 FM. Kickoff slate for 8:20. UCF hosting UC still on Saturday afternoon in Orlando. Both teams 3-2. Listen to the Bearcats football game Saturday at 3:30 on 700 WLW. Blue Jackets update. Columbus falls in their season opener at Minnesota 3-2. They'll face the Colorado Avalanche on the road Saturday night at 9. And Thursday night football score, Cincinnati Country Day over New Miami 41-8. Wyoming takes down Marymount 41-6. Carlisle on top of Oakwood 21-13. And Northwest pitches a 36-0 shutout at Ponix Tech. I'm Lee Mowen, News Radio 700 WLW.
In this week's Marketers Report, we learn about the value of local influencers in uncertain times. From Allison Griffin, head of marketing at State Farm.
The economy is tough for everyone, and taking a step back and understanding the pain that your customers are currently going through because of a tough environment is really important. We have 19,000 agents across the country, and they understand what's going on in those very unique communities. iHeart has such a broad broadcast reach that is local, connected, and for us to be able to touch customers with a local feel but at a national scale is so efficient and important for us.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to all, from national to local. Every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company, iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Home values in Cincinnati are sky high and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market has peaked, so you're thinking about selling. It's time, except for two things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial investors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while the value is high, but you stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Sounds smart, right? Truehold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, secure retirement, whatever you want. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
When you shop Goodwill, you don't just bring home a vintage dress or cat lamp. You bring home so much good to your community because everything you buy funds local job training and more. Goodwill. Bring good home.
About everything from politics to social issues.
700 WLW.
Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
Hello and welcome. It's Friday. It's our final show. We say goodbye after this show for a week. And
don't do that.
We go out. I'll do what the YouTubers do. We're saying goodbye. It's the clickbait on YouTube is crazy, even from good channels. And here we are. You and I were just talking. Gary, hello, welcome. I hope you're doing well. Blah blah blah. Niceties and whatnot.
Well, let me put that. I'll put that as one of the headlines for the podcast.
Yeah, that we're not going to be able to survive.
Eric and Gary say goodbye.
Eric and there you go. Do that. All right. Alan, Ron, make sure that happens. Eric and Gary say goodbye. Oh, my gosh.
Now, why wouldn't we do that?
Yeah, well, because I don't like clickbait myself.
Well, we wouldn't do that because we don't want to only give half the story, which in context gives an entirely wrong. Well, we're lying.
I will say this. At the end of the show, in the final segment of the show, I will be revealing some news. So now I'm not good at holding it in, so I'll just say it now. I found some St. Augustine grass sod this late in the season. I'm pretty excited about it. That's going to be one of my projects on vacation. So there you go. Breaking news. That's all I got.
You want more breaking news? Yeah. Gary is now completely in compliance with the homeowners association because I finally planted a tree in my front yard.
Oh, you're no longer defiant. You took the flag down and planted a tree, huh?
I took
your
my
resistance. HOA resistance flag.
It's the same. It's the Hamas flag.
Yeah.
Now I was in compliance.
Mm-hmm. Technically.
Because I had till December to do it. But the fact is, like, when I had to take down both of my trees in the front yard. And so you have to have at least 2 trees on your property, and I have one in the backyard, and all you had to do was put one in the front yard then. They counted that. Now, when I built the house and, the builder put in the 2 trees in the front, I had 3 trees. Mm. But as I've learned, when you have a pool, the fewest trees possible is what you want. But it took me really a year and a half, over a year. It took me a year. And you're supposed to, when you cut the tree down, immediately notify the homeowners association. And then you have to, anything you have to do to replace the tree, you have to basically show them your house, where you're going to put the tree. And also I had a few bushes in there that got slowly killed from Frizola, but never really died till that point. So I ripped them out. So you have, once you rip them out, you have, you're supposed to contact, them with your plan, and then you send it to the architect to plant a damn tree.
Yeah.
And I just, showed my house and a circle in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That was it there. And it took about a month. We've approved your plan. I'm like, oh my God. And then you have 9 months to do it. So I did it within 7 months.
All right.
So I'm in compliance.
I would have gone to 8 months and 28 days.
Well, the whole thing is, since I have to pay for it, I didn't want to put a tree in December or January. I figured give it a little warmth, get it a little growth going on, you know. So, because we still have warmth here. By the way, I'm going to see my dad. We're Friday, right? Yes, Friday.
Think so.
I'll fly in tonight to see Dad for a couple of days, and
yeah, all right.
Then again, it's more contractors and stuff next week. My house is 18 years old, and that's about the point where it's like, okay. Contractors for this. I need this. I need that. I need this. I need that. So, doing that. But we got to start the show. I have to start the show.
All right.
By saying I'm as happy as could be.
Yeah.
Because I'm sick of this show and we're going on vacation. No.
We're saying goodbye.
No.
At the end of the show, we're saying goodbye.
No. Everybody I know that live on the west coast of Florida and stayed. Not in evacuation zones, but non-evacuation zones. Whether it was Venice, Sarasota, the Tampa area, everybody is doing fine. Everybody is great. I don't know about the most of them. Most of them really didn't have much damage at all. I'm not sure about a few of them, but. That was really what I spent yesterday morning doing, trying to find out, and everybody's okay. By the time it got to about 3:30, was the last person that I found out was okay, and that's because nobody had heard from him, and somebody went over to the house to check it out, and it was simply, no telephone, no internet, and so they couldn't contact anyone. So that was great to hear.
Yeah, good.
What an insane week it's been, and it just. How many times can we do this? How many times can we say, I just can't believe they're doing this? And I want to play this audio, and this is Mitch Landrieu, Kamala Harris's advisor, one of her senior advisors. And it's like, nobody is prepared. I mean, they just, I think the incompetence of how they're running their campaign is just as bad as where they really stand on the issues, but lie to the American public about where they really stand on the issues.
Yeah.
But you and I have said, we've done this now, decades upon decades upon decades. And you said it yesterday. It's true. We haven't completed our 20th year, but we're in our 20th year together.
We're in our 20th year.
And
yep.
And so
then we're saying goodbye.
When you. No, we're
after
not.
this show.
No, we're not. Stop it. You're going to get people.
Saying so long. Then we got to do the sad, the contrived sad thumbnail. I mean, I know it's radio, but we'll do a thumbnail anyway. We'll figure it out.
Stop it.
We're both looking down, looking sad.
But I already told you that by the time I get to Wednesday or Thursday of next week on vacation, I'm going to be going bat soup crazy.
That was the extent of our pre-show meeting.
That really was.
And it's true, and it's a conundrum. This is my new word. You might have noticed if you listen to the podcast or the show on a regular basis. I like the word conundrum because we got to have the time off. Apparently, I'm supposed to spend time with my family. So, I mean, it's not required by law. I looked it up. But the thing, and I like those people. I do. They're from what I know of them, each of them, they're mostly good people. We get through a weekend, and Sunday night is like, okay, here we go. It's technically not a pile until we print it off, if we print it off. But I've got my inbox, every form of saving stories and bookmarking stories. It's full. It's like, I know there really is no way to completely fill the cloud, but if we could, we'd be doing it. If you could, we'd be doing it. Well, forget it when it comes to vacation. Okay, so summer vacation, the week of Independence Day, rented a beach house, and my grandkids were going to this little kind of theme park nearby where we were. And they said, okay, we're leaving. And I said, all right, have fun. And my oldest grandchild, she looks at me like, She didn't say anything, but it was like, well, aren't you supposed to be going along? And I sat there and I thought, okay, I could actually technically they would have to force me to go. The point being is there was so much going on during that week. And I was sitting there, I was like, they're going to be riding rides and everything else. It's really hot outside. I could be sitting on the deck here doing show prep. And that basically is my enjoyment.
I know. It's really weird.
It's become a thing where it's like, okay, but keeping up with it while we're out is a lot more of a task than it's ever been.
I did realize that one of the reasons that I have less interest in sports is because I'm obsessed with the news now. And it's really different. You and I talked about talk show hosts that we know that have basically said it really gets to be too much. Mm-hmm. It's just too much. There's so much negative. And I guess, I don't know whether it's you and I have been in such a long time, but I love running into the fire. And I know you do too. And I don't know how else to put it. But I do want to mention one thing before we get to the audio cut here from CNN, which is just bizarro from the Kamala Harris advisor. Just so people know a little bit of background. When we say, for example, our pre-show meeting is very short. But that originated where we actually started saying that very early on, the first year or two of the show, when our boss would say, are you guys meeting before the show, and how long are you meeting for?
Right.
Are you meeting for 45 minutes? Are you meeting for a half hour?
Right.
So in order to get our boss off the back, because we really don't discuss much, because we know we both do our research during the day and get the audio cuts and everything else, but we both know what the news is. We've done this so long. And so we really don't want to sit for 45 minutes and discuss everything, because we don't want it to sound rehearsed. We want everything to be that way. So what we did, because that boss was, how long? You guys having your pre-show meeting? How long is a pre-show meeting? Is it 40 minutes? Is it an hour? I mean, you have to sit there and you have to have a pre-show meeting so you can be prepared, blah, 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 from somebody, by the way, who was never in talk radio before. And so Eric and I just started saying in the first half hour of the show, what a great pre-show meeting we had. And in our pre-show meeting, we still didn't really have a pre-show meeting. It was more like, hey, what's going on?
Right.
Or at times, our pre-show meeting is, right.
Right.
And so, but that's where that originally came from. Not when we say pre-show meeting, it's really to have some fun about how ridiculous it is, because our pre-show meeting a lot of times is a sentence or two to each other just about the general climate of what's going on. But this audio cut, this one blows my mind. I believe that both you and I have done this long enough, and we've covered enough elections where we know what works and what doesn't work. And that's why you and I have always stated that, if we were political advisors, let's put our political advisor hat on. This, to me, the continuation of this would get somebody fired. I understand that you can't sell what you believe, what you truly believe to the American public, so you have to lie about it. But you got to learn to BS in a different way. Here it is on CNN. Okay, here we go.
Right.
Same answer that she gives. So it's not just her giving the answer. It's the only answer that they have in the campaign.
Vice President Harris has been asked repeatedly how she's different than President Biden, and some people think she's been tripped up by answering that. How do you think she is different than President Biden?
Well, first of all, whatever the differences is between them, it's not nearly as vast as the difference between her and Donald Trump. She's obviously a woman. She is a woman of color, and she is of a new generation. So she is not Joe Biden, as much as they want to try to make her Joe Biden. But she was and is part of the Biden administration.
What the hell's going on? How is it that everybody is so stupid? Look, sometimes you run into a pack of morons, when you're out in the wild. You're like, oh, wow, man, This is a large pack of morons. You just try and leave them alone, Let them do what they're going to do, eat their glue. Whatever they do, you just kind of let them alone in the wild. I'm in their home. Morons, they just kind of wander, How did they get so large? You see the viral video of the lady in Washington State? She had like 100 raccoons in her yard. And I'm thinking somebody did that on purpose. Somebody collected a bunch of raccoons and let them go in her yard. A neighbor does not like her. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, that's kind of the video. That's what I see now. Just a large group of morons running around, and it's called collectively the Harris campaign. All of her surrogates are saying the same thing. Here's really simple. In our pre-show meeting, and by golly, it was a very productive for any management pre-show meeting. I said this, just say it. Because if I'm advising her, I look at her and say, we don't give a damn about the old man. You're going to respect his office, but we don't care about anything on his legacy. You're part of it, but we don't care what he thinks about any of it. And you're going to say the following. I have a different approach than Joe Biden. I don't have control over Joe Biden. He's the president. I'm the vice president. But as president, these are the things that I'm going to do.
Right. And these are the things that didn't work during the administration because you don't care about Biden, because the Democratic Party doesn't care about Biden.
I don't care anything. You've already kicked him to the curb. Well, it's over.
But the funny thing is, when you quickly said that in our pre-show meeting, I said, and by the way, this is really true. I didn't say it to you at the time, but that was exactly what I thought. I don't understand this obsession with not upsetting Biden, because it doesn't matter if Biden comes out and insults you for having a different opinion. The Democratic Party has bailed on him. They booted him out. They forced him out.
Post-convention, that should have been the tone. With all due respect, we're going to take a different approach.
866-90-RED-EYE.
This report is brought to you by Shell Rotella. With advanced synthetic technology, is designed to help keep your rig running with more mileage and less maintenance. As the seasons change, so does truck maintenance. Cold weather can affect everything from your batteries and air brake system to tire inflation and fuel lines. Here's a maintenance tip to help make sure your rig is ready when winter comes knocking. When temperatures fall, the paraffin wax in diesel fuel can thicken so much it clogs fuel filters or solidifies to the point where it will no longer flow. Invest in a new fuel filter now and consider adding a winter fuel additive to your maintenance routine to help prevent fuel gelling. To learn more about winterizing your truck, find a professional technician today and ask about their fuel additives and fuel filters.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
Listen to Red Eye Radio wherever you are with the Red Eye Radio app. Available on Android and iPhone. Download it now from the App Store or by visiting us at RedEyeRadioshow.com.
If you drive a big rig, you know that more time on the road means more money in your pocket. Shell Rotella, with advanced synthetic technology, is designed to help keep your rig running and save you money in the long run. Trade up to Shell Rotella, and you'll get superior protection against engine wear. That means less time in the shop and more time on the road. It also means you'll get more chances to see North America's finest roadside attraction, cows, cornfields, cows in cornfields. It's lovely this time of year. Shell Rotella's advanced synthetic technology also offers extended drain intervals, helping your rig go farther between oil changes. So you'll make less pit stops. Well, unless you need to restock on snacks, we really can't help you with that. But if you're looking to help your big rig engine live longer, look no further. Superior protection, less maintenance. That's what you can expect from the #1 heavy-duty engine oil in North America. Shell Rotella, for the long haul. Explore the full lineup of Shell Rotella products at rotella.com/long-haul.
Red Eye Radio and our sponsors are devoted to trucking safety. That's why we are proud to bring you the Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club. we've been saluting drivers who have surpassed the 1,000,000-mile mark with preventable, accident-free driving. By reaching this milestone, you can be a part of an elite club of drivers who share remarkable safety records and demonstrate superior driving skills. If you or someone you know is a truck driver with 1,000,000 miles or more of driving under your belt without a preventable accident, register online at RedEyeRadioShow.com. That's RedEyeRadioShow.com. The Red Eye Radio 1,000,000-Mile Club would not be possible without the generous support of the fine folks from Petro Stopping Centers, Howe's Lubricator, Motel 6, the St. Christopher Fund, and Cat Scale. We applaud the individual truckers and fleets who drive with care and keep our highways safe. The Red Eye Radio 1,000,000-Mile Club, devoted to trucking safety. Register online at RedEyeRadioShow.com.
700 WLW.
Deep in the back of your mind, you've always had the feeling that there's something strange about reality. There is. Stuff to Blow Your Mind, an iHeart podcast that dives deep into the mysteries of the universe. With more than 2,500 episodes ready to listen, Stuff to Blow Your Mind will guide you through the strange, the bizarre, and the mind-blowing. Listen to Stuff to Blow Your Mind on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Stuff to Blow Your Mind to start listening.
Progressive Commercial Insurance protects truck owners with specialized coverages for heavy trucks. Insure commercial vehicles from pickup trucks, vans, trailers, semis, dump and tow trucks, and more. Get a quote in as little as 5 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
On the road and need to stay aware? Meet the Exa Telecom S30 open-ear headset. Stay alert and connected with ultra-light comfort, crystal clear calls, and 99.9% environmental noise cancellation. All without losing touch with your surroundings. Perfect for every driver. The Exa Telecom S30 ensures you hear every word without missing a beat on the road. Drive safe and stay connected. Get your Exa Telecom S30 open-ear headset today at Love's Travel Stops. Exa Telecom S30. Be heard anywhere.
I'm Carrie Champion, and this is Season 4 of Naked Sports. Up first, I explore the making of a rivalry. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese.
Every great player needs a foil.
People are talking about women's basketball just because of one single game. I just come here to play basketball every single day.
Clark and Reese have changed the way we consume women's sports. Listen to The Making of a Rivalry, Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search The Making of a Rivalry, Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese, and start listening.
I'm Shanola Hampton. I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
700 WLW.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Carly, and I'm Gary McNamara. So yesterday we were talking about, when they talked about the difference, and the one thing that has come up also is, well, we'd put a Republican on the cabinet. So just like we were doing yesterday, we said, well, who, Mitt Romney?
Yeah, right.
Who else would you, put on there? Cheney? I mean, what? And you think people care about that? They actually get into that discussion of hypotheticals on CNN with Scott Jennings. Here we go. Okay, here we go.
Have they even vetted Mitt Romney? I mean, this man tortures dogs. He specifically murders people with cancer. He tries to hire women into government positions. And worst of all, according to Joe Biden, it'd be quite a thing if the sitting Secretary of State tried to put the President of the United States in chains. Have they vetted Mitt Romney? This is a crazy idea. That's not what they have to do. They have to come up with a message that doesn't feel contrived, that doesn't feel like it's made up just for the moment. There's just no authenticity in any of this. This is throwing spaghetti at the wall because they've neglected men, all this time. And this is a political party that thinks gender is just a state of mind. And all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, we have trouble with moderate biological males. I mean, who is surprised about this? Yeah, the story tonight is they're struggling with men. Obama's insulting men, and they're out saying, well, let's fix it by sending Tim Walz out and hiring Mitt Romney. It's crazy to me.
I'm sorry. This is not a campaign strategy to name Mitt Romney the Secretary of State.
Are you agreeing?
This is a suggestion in a report. Exactly. I don't think we should force any candidate to name who their cabinet is prior to even winning. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It is chaos.
I know.
And I love every second of it.
traffic and weather. News Radio 700 WLW, Cincinnati.
The rescue operation in a Colorado mine successful. I'm Lee Mowen, breaking now.
They're all in good spirits. We fed them pizza. That's what they wanted.
That's Teller County Sheriff Jason Meitzel on what the rescue group wanted after being recovered from the Molly Kathleen gold mine in Cripple Creek, Colorado. A total of 23 people were rescued Thursday evening after an equipment malfunction occurred at the mine tour. Some of the tourists were stuck 1,000 feet underground. With more details on the rescue, here's Alex Stone with ABC News.
After spending hours stuck 1,000 feet underground, all 12 have now been freed. The elevator that had a mechanical problem and killed one person was fixed, and the 12 trapped were brought up to the surface. They had been in a shaft underground. Those who were injured in the elevator accident have all been treated and released from a hospital. Colorado's governor is thanking all of those who worked to rescue everyone who was trapped. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Meantime, the death is still under investigation.
It's going to take a full investigation to know what really went wrong. Accidents happen when you're dealing with this type of machinery.
Now the latest forecast from the Train Heating and Cooling Weather Center on News Radio 700 WLW.
And the forecast as we look ahead to our Friday morning, it's mostly clear. Little daybreak patchy fog, a morning low of 43. Our Friday then is sunshine, a high of 74. At night, mostly clear, and we drop to 52. From your severe weather station, I'm 9 First Warning Chief Meteorologist Steve Raleigh. News Radio 700 WLW.
One man is dead after a Thursday evening shooting. It happened in East Price Hill around West 8th Street and Chateau Avenue around 7:15. Police state the 18-year-old was shot in a home. The victim would later die from his injuries at a nearby hospital. Police report a suspect is in custody. No other details are available at this time. I'm Lee Mowen. News Radio 700 WLW.
In today's Marketers Report, Erica Taylor, Chief Marketing Officer of Genentech, weighs in on audio's ability to reach any audience.
Everyone is listening somewhere, somehow. So it's a great way to take something very precise in what we're trying to do to reach patients with something that I think we can all agree is somewhat broad in reaching many, many different audiences.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
This is a St. Jude moment.
Ashton was a high-level athlete, and in an instant, your world flips. And your healthy 5-year-old competitive cheerleader has a brain tumor. And the physician was like, your best option is St. Jude. Receiving treatment that was life-saving for our child and knowing that that treatment would be of no cost to us was a huge weight lifted.
Learn more at stjude.org.
700 WLW.
Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Shell Rotella with advanced synthetic technology is designed to help keep your rig running with more mileage and less maintenance.
Progressive Commercial knows truckers can expect the unexpected when driving, but a little heads up like this would still be nice.
Breaker truck driver, I'm the local meteorologist. Just letting you know I got the days mixed up and a little bit of hail is coming. Over. Actually, it's a hailstorm. My bad. Over.
Be ready for the unexpected with primary liability limits up to $2 million on our specialty heavy truck coverage. Get a quote at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to terms and limits.
Class A over-the-road truck drivers. Getting to a doctor for testing can be difficult. The St. Christopher Fund wants to make it easier for you. Prostate and colorectal cancer screenings are now available. To get your free kits, just go to truckersfund.org. That's truckersfund.org and click on the Health and Wellness tab. That's truckersfund.org.
You're listening to Red Eye Radio from the Uniden America Studios.
And he's Eric Carly, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Evidence that Trump listens to the show?
Yeah, more evidence if you needed it. I mean, we're pretty clear. We think it's pretty clear.
Now, yesterday, and thank you for the comments that we got when we discussed what's going on in this country. And why this election is even close, and what we said, because I actually referred to yesterday to Scrooge.
Yeah.
I know there's some radio stations already playing Christmas music. I was not doing it to bring, Christmas into the discussion before Halloween.
Yeah.
All right, I want to make that clear.
Yeah.
But I said that, in the Ghost of Christmas Present, who said, the two things that you have to beware of is I forgot which the girl or the boy has want or ignorance, but it's beware of, I think it's the boy whose ignorance, which again, Trump didn't say it the exact way. He said stupid, but if you are willfully ignorant, if you don't want to know and don't seek the truth, does that make you stupid? That's a great discussion to have. But here was Trump in Detroit yesterday. When I saw this, I went, okay, he used a different word, but I understand what he was saying.
Yep.
And he's taking the advice finally of Red Eye.
Thank you for listening.
Sort of almost the advice of Red Eye. Here we go.
See, that's the real threat to democracy, stupid people. That's the threat. Our biggest threat to democracy is stupid people.
Thank you for listening. Send him a cap and a T-shirt. We don't have any, but we'll find something. Send him one of his own caps. Yeah, it's
now here it is.
We know Obama listened during his smoke breaks when he was in the White House.
Now, I went to the dictionary to look up. Now, we know that ignorance is a lack of facts, right?
Right.
You don't have the facts, yet you promote something that's insane.
Yeah.
But when you look at things like the radical transgender movement, critical race theory, being told that the border is secure, not understanding how inflation happens, or not willing to understand how inflation happens, where you've got so many Democrats saying, well, the inflation happened because of corporate greed, which is ridiculous. It shows you're completely and totally clueless. The definition of stupid is having or showing a lack of intelligence or common sense.
Yeah.
If you believe that a boy can be a woman because a boy says so, you have no common sense. You have thrown your common sense out the window. So using the word stupid is accurate because there is no common sense in the way that they think. And people say it's an insult. Well, yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
Now, we've always said ignorance, which is a lack of you don't have the facts. But as we've said before, if you're arguing with the lack of facts and you're completely clueless and you're using a slogan to do it, then I do have to question your intelligence. If there's a total lack of critical thinking on basic issues, what's the physicist? The guy that, I can't think of his name right now. He's the one that's promoting the radical transgender movement. Completely no credibility on science in it. Neil Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yes, exactly. That showed where he's an extremely smart man, but a total lack of common sense when it comes to the radical transgender movement.
Well, he kept spouting off just these random ideas of, well, we could do this, or well, we could do this, or we could do it. It's like you're in the wrong arena, not your wheelhouse.
Yeah. You're either lying or you're stupid when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Because he's a smart man in other areas, as we know.
Very.
I'm telling you, Eric, yesterday, and I know it was, what do they call it, Real Woman's Day yesterday, the number of ads against the radical transgender movement, generic ads, whatever, on stream, wherever I went yesterday, it was all over the place. And the one going against the Democratic Senate candidate, Allred, here in Texas, just brutal.
Yeah.
They have just, they have the one has this woman talking, going, why would he, and being blunt and I'll say blunt, maybe not explicit, but blunt on saying, what do you mean the state gets to control what children do? The state doesn't tell me how to raise my children. These are extremely effective ads.
Yeah.
Now, I'm so happy when I see them, because you and I have been talking about this probably for 20 years, where the radical transgender movement was going. And really for the last 10 years, and at times we felt we were completely alone. We're like, where are the women? Why is nobody doing it? Part of it was because of the, as we call it, the blue wall of intimidation. A lot of it is what you saw, when it came to the swimmers, the women swimmers, and the bullying and the threatening to destroy their lives, that the Democratic Party completely agree with. But think about this. This thing has been around so long, and we would talk about it 10, 15 years ago. And even our listeners would say, guys, look, this isn't going to go anywhere. And we said, you don't know that. They're promoting it. And then we got, remember, then the bathroom issue became so big. Remember, we need to boycott North Carolina. All sports need, all big sporting events need to leave North Carolina, need to leave Texas, because they won't let men into women's private spaces. The insanity there. And there was not a ton of pushback on that. There really wasn't.
In fact, you had corporations backing it.
Yeah.
From the left.
Yep. And so that is, when you promote that, you're either lying or you're stupid. And if you're lying, why are you lying about it?
Right. What do you think you're gaining?
So, when I saw it yesterday, I said, all right. Yeah, right, Trump.
Look, we know he's up in the middle of the night. That's been the case all of his life. Well, he sleeps between 2 and 2:20 a.m. He gets in a full 20 minutes every night, like clockwork. It's funny. I was talking to a health expert, actually a long-time PA, physician's assistant, and this was years ago. And she brought up Donald Trump and a couple of other people saying these type A personalities, 3-4 hours of sleep a day, that's all they get. They're always working. Their mind is always about work. It's interesting when you see Elon Musk and Donald Trump now basically on the road doing these campaign stops, doing these rallies. Here you have two of the richest, wealthiest guys in the world. And they're connecting with people on the ground much better. They're connecting with unions, working class people, much easier. My gosh. You don't have to go back too far, and the Democrats would have, and many, you even had, who was it that jumped on board? Oh, who was it that jumped on board with the whole thing against Mitt Romney? Oh, it was Newt.
Oh, yeah.
He used the Democrats' demonization on how he made his money, how he made his wealth. You couldn't be, wealthy. Ooh, he's wealthy. And then the Obamas bragged about still having debt when they went into the White House. Still had college debt. So they haven't bragged about that lately because Joe Biden wrote it off. And the whole thing is that now you have, and this is what, when you look at conservative values, I don't care how much money someone else makes. The left says have. They have this. They have this. Earned. They made the money. They earned it. Yeah, but they shouldn't earn that much money. You come up with the ideas that they implemented. We can have a conversation about government funds going into EVs when it comes to Tesla. But Elon Musk, for the most part, went out and earned his money. Same with Donald Trump. Donald Trump's been bankrupt before. He wrote a book. He wrote in a book that he saw this homeless guy across the street, and he said, here I am. I've got all this debt, some business debt. And he says, that guy is actually richer than me because I owe a lot of money. He probably owes nothing. But these are the things, when you look at the connection with people, it's about the issues and about what we look for people to do. Elon Musk creates a lot of wealth that benefits other people. A friend of mine bought a brand new Corvette. This goes back a few years. He gets out, and someone said to him, wow, with the money for that kind of vehicle, some Karen, with the money spent on that kind of vehicle, you could feed a lot of families. And he said, I did. The people who built it, they make good money. They're union, and they take that money home to feed their families. Thank you for recognizing that. And he walked inside. We talked about it, the economy of a pencil, Milton Friedman, who Elon Musk, to bring it full circle, posted that video. I reposted it on X yesterday. And it's about, and that was about how inflation works. But there are so many videos about economics from Milton Friedman. My gosh, just type in Milton Friedman on YouTube if you're new to that experience and spend some time listening about how it works. We're a nation that has the ability to expand wealth like no other, and we choose not to do it. And when we say expand wealth, we mean for everybody. All boats are lifted. I don't care what my neighbor's driving, what house he lives in, as long as he mows his front lawn, keeps it looking good because he lives near me. All of these things that the left care about, this jealousy and envy, what kind of satisfaction do you get from that? I don't get it. When we have so much natural gas and oil in the ground, and the rest of the world's looking at us going, you guys are crazy for not getting it, for not going after it, and imposing these insane mandates that will never be met. We'll never be able to ramp up the mining required for the batteries and the infrastructure. We'll never, ever, ever be able to get to that level of production. If we included all the sources in the world, we likely wouldn't meet those mandates. And we don't have all the sources in the world. This is stupid, and we need to end the stupidity.
Stupid.
Yep.
Man, we'll be quoting Forrest more today, won't we?
Ice cream. Mr. McNamara, I got you an ice cream.
Stupid is as stupid does.
Yep.
866-90-RED-EYE.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90-RED-EYE.
At Motel 6, we'll leave the light on for truckers. Truck parking is available at many of our 1,400 locations. If you drive a big rig, you know that more time on the road means more money in your pocket. Shell Rotella, with advanced synthetic technology, is designed to help keep your rig running and save you money in the long run. Trade up to Shell Rotella, and you'll get superior protection against engine wear. That means less time in the shop and more time on the road. It also means you'll get more chances to see North America's finest roadside attraction, cows, cornfields, cows in cornfields. It's lovely this time of year. Shell Rotella's advanced synthetic technology also offers extended drain intervals, helping your rig go farther between oil changes. So you'll make less pit stops. Well, unless you need to restock on snacks, we really can't help you with that. But if you're looking to help your big rig engine live longer, look no further. Superior protection, less maintenance. That's what you can expect from the #1 heavy-duty engine oil in North America. Shell Rotella.